Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How's it going? We got somebody just passing by here, so I'm going to keep it quiet for a second. Again, the future home of Redwood City YMCA, the Y. That's incredible. So that's what they're building over there. Wow. Anyway, we've got a show to run here. The sun is already setting as we speak. I just got a chance to get out on my walk today because there's a lot going on, lots of good stuff going on. And yeah, it is what it is, you know. You take things one step at a time. If you run out of time one day doing stuff that needs to be done, then there's always tomorrow. Give it your best, then call it a day. Rest, relax, recoup, and continue where you left off tomorrow. So, anyway, welcome to episode number 855 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from Red Morton Park. Today is day 3 of the GNA membership drive. I've got a great topic to discuss here today. Let me check one thing real quick. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Today we're going to be discussing you must want to change to actually change. One more time. You must want to change to actually change. That's very true. In life, in order to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, you really, truly, wholeheartedly, sincerely must want to do it before you try doing it. You must program your brain, your mind, your body, your heart, your soul. You must program yourself to want it. Because if you don't want it before you start to go for it, even if you start going for it, you will give up. And most times you will give up shortly after you start, right? So if you truly want to change one aspect about yourself or multiple aspects about yourself, you must want to change in order to change. You must want to change in order to actually change. Food for thought, right? Now, let me talk about something that has really changed with me recently. And this was one of the hardest things to do because, let's just put it to you this way. Whoops, I just almost stumbled over something. There's always a lot of stuff happening out here on YouTube. If you create content out here on YouTube like I do, or if you create content anywhere on social media, there are always going to be people that are going to try to, how do we say it, infiltrate what you're trying to do, trying to derail what you're trying to do, right? Get in the way, right? Be a distraction, right? And I've dealt with a lot of that over the years out here on YouTube. And it's still happening every day. It's still happening every day. But I've gotten to the point of where I just don't care. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me anymore. Give me a second. There's a big truck parked on the corner there. And it's wide, so I had to go around it. And other cars are trying to get around it too, so. I've known all along that part of the issue that I've dealt with out here on YouTube and moving my actual message forward is truly just ignoring all haters and trolls. And, over the last several years, I've gotten a lot better at it. When you're brand new to doing content full-time, like 6.5 years ago when I started doing this full-time or semi-full-time, I was on YouTube already, but I hadn't made my first crack at being an actual, real, full-blown creator until 6.5 years ago. And I didn't even know what a troll was back then. And I didn't even realize how bad the hate was on social media, because I was on Facebook and I was running professional networking events all over Northern California where I live. And every now and then we would have someone make a little noise on social media, but nothing like I've seen out here on YouTube through, several groups that, let's just put it this way, somehow found out about me, right? And it is a natural, human thing to want to defend yourself whenever someone or people are saying things about you that are not true, right? And when there are several people talking about you like they talk about me constantly, and you're sitting there and you come across this and you're like, I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. And honestly, this doesn't bother me. It doesn't faze me. But sometimes you feel like you just want to give these people a piece of your mind. And then you realize it's not worth it. You ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it? What's going to actually happen if you give these people a piece of your mind? What's going to happen if you give these people a piece of your mind? Yeah, you may feel better, you let it out, right? No pent-up energy or anything like that. But in essence, you're more so giving them what they want. A lot of people on the internet that are dependent on other people's reactions as their content will feed off of any reaction that you give to them. Even if you quickly give them a piece of your mind and then go back to doing what you were doing, that's more than enough to get them going once again. Right? So I've just learned to just laugh and ignore and not go out of my way to seek out information or seek out what other people on the internet are saying about me in a negative way. And I've learned to focus more on what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people that want the help and are open to the help. Right? I'm not here to try to defend myself against people that are purposefully trying to antagonize me and get a reaction out of me purposefully because they need me as their content. Right? Because they're thirsty for content. And these types of people don't only do it to one person like myself, they do it to many people. They do what's called fishing. They go fishing and see who can they try to trigger a reaction from today that can get a good enough response where content can be made out of it. And it's so good that people are willing to donate to that type of content, right? And sometimes you sit there and you understand the MO, the motive of operation, right, of these people. And you feel like calling them out and telling them how narcissistic they are, right? And you feel like telling them that you're nothing without me, right? If you stop talking about me, you're out of business. You have no audience, right? And all of that may be true, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because even though you responding to that and standing up for yourself is not necessarily a bad thing, there's always one thing that's better, especially on social media. Same applies in the real world, but more so online. Silence is golden, right? People will make up things about you on purpose because they know that's going to force you into defending yourself. But if you know those things are not true, and if you know most people that are reasonable and normal on the internet can come across a creator making videos on you like that and understand that what they're saying is not true, and if the only people that are agreeing with that creator or maybe even believe that creator about what they're saying about you is true, if their group of supporters agrees with it, that's a small group of people. That shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't matter, right? So like the title says here, in order to make a change, you got to want to change. You've got to want change in order for change to happen, right? You got to grab it by the horns and say, you know what? I've been doing this type of behavior, or I've been reacting this way, or I've been showing up this way in life. And it hasn't been working for me that well. I feel something is off. First, you have to identify that something is off, and you have to understand that, it's time for a change. And when you get to that and you grab it by the horns and you own it, then you can start to focus on making the change. Like for me, that's just ignoring stupid shit on the internet, YouTube or any other platform. Good evening, Tia. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. Great to see you here. And what you're going to notice is when you make a change, in many cases, you're making a change to become more mature. Or if you're on the younger side of things, or even if you're older, some people in their 30s and even 40s or 50s are acting like little kids and they haven't grown up yet. If you decide to finally realize that it's time to make a change and you want to truly make that change, then you can focus on becoming more mature, right? Because you've identified the issue, right? You have to identify the issue on your own. You know, the one thing about coaching or personal development is that you can give someone all of the best advice in the world, right? But you can't force them to use that advice, right? Kind of like the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? George Strait, in one of his songs, said, you can lead a heart to love, but you can't make it fall. Yeah, you can lead a heart to love, but you can't make it fall. You can't make you can't make a heart love somebody. You can tell it what to do, but it won't listen at all. You can't make a heart love somebody. You can lead a heart to love, but you can't make it fall. That's a beautiful song. I actually saw George Strait in concert in the 90s. Right? At a table for two, with candlelight and wine. That diamond burning holes in his pocket, thinking now's the perfect time, right? When he asked a question, he could see the teardrops in her eyes. She said, I knew this was coming, but I'm sorry. And I hope you realize. What a sad song. I remember going through my breakup with my high school sweetheart, my first relationship, and hearing that song by George Strait in the 90s, right? And I gotta tell you, like all these country songs in the 90s, there's nothing like it. They were some of the best songs ever written because they were real, they were raw. They were talking about how shitty it feels to have your heart broken or to lose someone, right? And the way that they would write and sing the lyrics, you could feel it, right? And I would feel that, right? I would feel that. The point of the matter is, if you want to accomplish anything in life, before you even start trying to accomplish it, you have to ask yourself, how much do you really want it? And when you ask yourself how much you really want it, it has to be beyond monetary. A lot of people say, well, I want to do this because it pays a shit ton of money. Oh, no kidding. Who doesn't want more money? But if that's the main purpose of why you want to do something that's not going to carry you through the rough times to keep doing it until you reach success, because you're not going to be successful right away. You have to want it beyond the money. If things that you want in life are 100% monetary based, you will fucking eventually fail miserably. If you don't fail right away, you might reach temporary fast success. Maybe. But if you even reach temporary decent success, it's going to be short-lived. It's not sustainable long-term. And I've been saying this for years. And there are some people on the internet that I know at this very moment are reaping what they've sowed regarding this aspect I'm talking about. You are reaping what you've sowed. Right? You're reaping what you sowed because good people like myself were trying to get through to people that were struggling with this aspect years ago. And instead of realizing that, hey, what I was saying is no joke, they said, hey, F you, Eli. Go ahead. They said, F you, Eli. Okay. Now, back in those days, 4 or 5 years ago, I might have told them F you too, because I was a little more reactive back in those days, in my early days of doing this full time on YouTube. But now I've learned to just laugh at that and just understand that, you know, some people may never change, or some people will take a lot longer to change. And some people will not even attempt to realize there's an issue that needs change until they're forced to do so. Like I've seen some people that are now reaping what they've sowed, right? In life, you always are going to reap what you sow. Whatever you put out, you're always going to get back. That's just the way the world works. Whether you believe in God or not, I believe in God. The GNA believes in God. The choice, if you want to believe in God, is up to you. But for me, being a God-loving man, that's the way the world works. What you put out, you get back. And actions have consequences, right? And instead of reaching a point where you truly identify what's going on and you know you need to change, and then you want to make that change, and then you start making that change, until you realize that, things are going to continue to be difficult for you. Especially if you were someone that once took a shortcut, bypassed the typical way of being successful, right? Everything in life takes hard work and dedication and devotion, personally and professionally. For people that shortcut things personally and professionally, you're going to have short-lived success, and you're going to be dealing with a lot more issues than you bargained for. And what's the solution to all this? Again, like I said, first you have to identify that there's an issue, and you have to want to make a change before you can actually change. And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror and call yourself out and say, look, I'm a piece of shit. I messed up. I've been treating people horribly. I've been doing things in selfish ways for me to get ahead, maybe monetarily or in other ways. And while that worked for a while, at what expense did that work at? At the expense of fooling other people and using other people, which is also hurting other people. And even if you reached a bit of success, was it real success? Or was it just short-term fake success? Just based on the moment. Based on your selfishness, right? There's one thing I'm proud of in life. I'm going to only do 2 laps tonight, folks. I'm going to do 1 more lap. Well, I'm proud of many things, but there's one major thing I'm super proud of in life. And that's the amount of consideration I have towards other people's wants, towards other people's feelings, wants, and needs. I have always been a very considerate person. Now, have I had my moments where I've encountered people and I've been so considerate to them and they push my buttons and then I've reacted and overreacted? Yeah. And when you overreact to people that are not receptive to you being considerate to them, you give those people the impression that you were never considerate in the first place, even though you are and you were. Right? That happens a lot out here on YouTube. You can be the nicest person in the world, and then you come across one of these people that's having mental and emotional issues, and you genuinely try to help them and befriend them, right? Right? And then something happens. Maybe other people they're involved with tell them to stay away from you, and it causes you to overreact and say something like, I never did anything wrong to you. I was just trying to help you. Well, they told me to stay away from you. Well, do you feel the need to stay away from me? Well, they've been pretty convincing. You see, stuff like that, people play games like that online and offline, right? And the thing is, every single human being has a choice on who and what they want to believe and who and what they know is full of shit. You have choices. And if you're encountering people that aren't good at making the right choice, right? And they want to believe other people over what they're saying about you than who you actually are and who you've shown them, then you got to let those people go and not argue. And that's part of making a change for the better. There's a guy there with 2 dogs. Man. Come on, man. Are you going to keep going or not? Let me turn on the front. Now, before we continue, let me take this moment to remind everybody this is day 3 of the GNA membership drive. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association. I'm the president and founder, Elias Melas, but you can call me Eli for short. And what we primarily do here is we focus on bettering you as a person. We focus on personal development, self-help, also known as personal improvement. And we do this by sharing stories primarily regarding things we've experienced in life. We share events. We also share what happened during those events and how initially those things that happened were weighing us down and how we turned those things around to not let them weigh us down anymore. We further do this by motivating, inspiring, and uplifting people. To learn to better love who you are. Because it all starts with self-love, self-appreciation, self-respect. And like I've always said, one of the most important things that every human being needs to understand, or you can't move further. You got to know your self-worth. You got to know your self-worth, and you can't sell yourself short. You got to know your self-worth, and you can't sell yourself short. If you sell yourself short, then who's going to buy? That's a figure of speech. So if you have very little self-respect or no self-respect, then who's going to want to be around you for any reason, whether it's to do business with you, to hire you at a job, to date you in a relationship, right? Put yourself in the position. Okay, sorry. I muted for a second. Put yourself in the other person's position or the other person's shoes, right? What I've learned to do in life that has helped me make the biggest change in my life is I've learned to realize how my words affect other people. I've learned to realize how my words affect other people. And I'm more careful with the words I choose nowadays.
Right or left?
My God, look at how close this is right here. There are a lot of people leaving the park all of a sudden at one time. And it's making it hard to navigate. All right. All right. So we're also talking about the GNA Positivity Pledge, and I'm probably not going to have this ready until sometime next week. There's going to be a landing page on our website at genuinenetworkingassociation.org where we're going to ask as many of you as possible that are open to doing this, and that is taking the GNA Positivity Pledge. All you're going to have to do is enter your email, check a box that says I take the pledge. The pledge is simply stating that I will make a best faith effort to rid myself of all drama, online and offline, including YouTube. I will make my best faith effort, or make a best faith effort, to be happy and positive. And even when times are tough, I will stay strong and be as positive as possible, even during the tough times. Because here's the thing, if you can stay strong and positive and be a decent, nice, down-to-earth human being when the times are tough, when the times aren't tough, your positivity is going to be infectious. And those are the types of people that we're looking to connect with here at the GNA, at the Genuine Networking Association. It's free to join the organization for the time being until we get our actual membership page set up on the website and this GNA Positivity Pledge landing page. All you have to do to join is subscribe to both channels. Right here, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. And then if you go below in the description, you can also join the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. That's the pre-recorded channel, which I'm doing in studio live streams on occasionally until the end of the year. And then those in-studio streams will be coming back here to GNA2. And then at the beginning of the year, the pre-recorded content will start up again on the other channel, the main channel. And I got to say that each and every day, one or two people begin to show interest. We've actually been growing slowly but surely, and that's okay. You know, here's the thing. If we can grow with one decent, reasonable, positive person each week, in 1 year, we'll have 52 amazing members. And do you folks even realize that even having 52 members that are positive, uplifting, and reasonable and truly support you, that's actually a lot of support. And from that point on, you continue to exponentially grow. You got to start slow. You got to build it one by one. You remember the movie Field of Dreams? What's the famous saying in the movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come, right? If you build it, they will come, right? That's what we're doing here. We're building. We're still building. And here's the thing. I'm going to be realistic with all you folks. We will never stop building. Because once we end up completing the actual building, right? We're talking figuratively, right? But you know what I'm saying. Once we figuratively complete building the actual building, or the figurative building, then we're going to remodel. We're going to constantly remodel, right? We're going to renovate. We're always going to be changing things and making things better. Because we can always improve. There's always room for improvement. No matter how good you're doing things, there's always room for improvement, right? And you folks have heard all these things. This is nothing new. Like I've said before, and I've been accused of. This is third grade stuff. Yes, it is. It's third grade shit, right? A lot of the stuff I teach is at a third grade level. But the sad part, like I said the other day, was if it's third grade level and 40 and 50-year-olds are having difficulty comprehending shit at a third grade level, This is why I have to keep on. Some of you grown adults still don't get it. You still can't comprehend at a third grade level, right? Because if you could comprehend at a third grade level, you folks would definitely not be behaving this way, right? Some of you would not be behaving the ways you're behaving, which is what I'm trying to say, right? And some of the people I've seen, the way that they've behaved out here on YouTube, it just makes me wonder, if they're behaving this way on YouTube, how were they as a little kid growing up? How many issues did they cause their mom and dad? Or did they come from a broken family? Or whoever raised these people as little kids, how was it raising them and living with them, right? One can only wonder, right? And a lot of times people will say, hey, Eli, you've done things in the past, this and that. No, I made a few mistakes on YouTube once or twice, and I've corrected my behavior for the better. There are people on this platform that behave in the same shitty ways each and every day, and they've been doing it for 6+ years. So think about it, right? People that are behaving that way, one can only imagine how they behaved growing up, how it affected their family, their mom, their dad, any brothers or sisters they may have had, right? Because here's the thing. For people that even do phony, fake stuff on YouTube to make money, a lot of what these people do shows their character, right? Underneath it all, the type of content people create, in my opinion, whether it's real or fake or whatever, right? The type of content they create, to me, displays the type of character they have. Because I'm the type of guy, a second. For me, I'm the type of guy that could never sell my soul for money, but other people would, right? And, if I am going to just give some friendly advice, a second. If I'm going to give some friendly advice to people out there, don't sell your soul for a paycheck, even if you think you can get away with it for a while. Because in the long run, you're going to pay the price for it. In the long run, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. When you play with fire, eventually you get burned, right? When you push the boundaries, eventually your luck runs out, right? In my younger days, and I'm talking about my grammar school days and early high school days, I used to try to shortcut things. And you want to know how many times I failed when I tried to shortcut things? Every fucking time I failed when I tried to shortcut things. Why did I try to shortcut things? Because I was lazy. And I'm not going to lie, there was a point in my life when I was younger where I felt I was entitled to everything. I'm not going to lie. I don't feel that way today, and I didn't feel that way after my sophomore year in high school. When I became a junior in high school, I started to really grow up. I still had a lot to learn after graduating high school in 1992. And then in my late teens and throughout my late teens and my early to mid 20s, I was still learning. I didn't really finally learn and stop being fully entitled or stop feeling like I was entitled to stuff until probably my mid to late 20s or even as late as my early 30s. And the reason why I made that change was because I knew the way I was coming off and the way I was expecting everything to go my way. It wasn't going to pan out for me. And hanging around friends and other people, yeah, I had friends and stuff, but they would always question me on it. And they were just really tired of my entitled behavior, right? I don't know if I've ever gone as deep into this as I am today. I don't know if I've mentioned before that I did have entitlement issues when I was younger. Yeah, I did. Am I ashamed of it? No. I'm not ashamed of it because that's not who I am anymore. And I want to share my stories so I can help other men and women and people in general learn to deal with the issues I struggled with sooner so you can reach success sooner, so you can be fully content sooner. You know, with the amount of information nowadays on the internet and YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all these social media sites, with the amount of information on Google and Yahoo and Bing, everywhere else, right? There's no excuse why men and women can't learn things quicker than I did. Can't get to the level I got to when I turned 30, when you folks turned 20 or 22, or maybe 25 at the latest, right? There's no reason why our youth, with the amount of experience in us older folks, us Gen Xers and boomers, like I'm a Gen Xer, there's no reason why by the time you are 25, but for some people nowadays, they're figuring this out by the time they're 20, because they're graduating high school and they're coming online to sites like YouTube and stuff, and they're finding out about personal development and personal improvement, right? And I'm beginning to realize that the newer generations, the Gen Zers, are really into personal development, much more than the millennials have been. Now, I'm not saying the millennials haven't been in personal development, but there are far more Gen Zers, and Gen Zers, I believe, are like 26 and younger. 26, 27 and younger, right? I think it's like age 12 to 27 are the Gen Zers, the generation after the millennials. I'm seeing these 18, 20, 22-year-old guys talking about why guys can't get a girlfriend and why you can't keep a girlfriend and stuff. And I'm listening to these guys, and most of them know exactly what they're talking about because they've learned from us folks that have been putting this content out for the last 10 years, right? Because of the avenues we have to do that nowadays, especially out here on YouTube, right? These younger guys are teaching other younger guys to just be cool, calm, and collected, and to not be thirsty, to not kiss a woman's ass, to not be an overly nice guy, but don't be, you know, an arrogant, pompous ass either. Be a cocky, playful, funny, fun guy to be around. And just be yourself and have no expectations. Women can sniff desperation 100 miles away, right? So you cannot show women any desperation or you're automatically either friend zoned or eliminated, right? These guys are teaching other guys, these Gen Zers are teaching other Gen Zers. And I've been surfing through a lot of content like that lately. And I found out about it by watching some other videos. I won't get too far into it, but I watch a lot of creators, and I listen to content that other creators I watch recommend, usually over what YouTube recommends me to see. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times YouTube does recommend me stuff I do want to see. They're good at doing that through their algorithm based on your prior habits, prior viewing habits, right? And surfing habits, right? But more so, when I'm already watching trusted creators and they refer me to view this video or check out this creator, and then I go check it out and I'm like, wow, this dude is 18 years old and he's as confident now at 18 as I was when I reached 40. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, this 18-year-old Gen Zer sounds mature and he has confidence on camera, takes care of himself. He's 18. It took me probably until my late 30s, early 40s to get to his level of confidence. And when I see those young men and women grow up and mature and have already started to learn or have learned what it took me until my late 30s, early 40s to fully learn, it makes me really proud. And that's what pushes me to keep moving forward, because I know there is a huge need. There is a huge need for what I do here. And there's a huge need to do it at little or no cost. Not everyone can afford to pay an astronomical amount for personal development. It never dawned on me until right now. I was just thinking about this. There are some personal development creators that charge thousands of dollars for these specialty programs, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, someone that has a ton of money to spend and buy a package like that, do they really need personal development as much as somebody who doesn't have that amount of money? Now, I'm not saying that people that have money don't have other issues. They do. But the majority of people that truly need personal development are not in the financial place to pay that large amount or those large amounts of money. And that's something that, you know, when I first got into it, I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on personal development. I couldn't afford any of these special, events. Some of these, people were running like Tony Robbins and stuff. Now, as I started to make more money later on, I was able to afford them every now and then. But most people that are even open to personal development and know that it's necessary, they can't afford to spend a lot of money on it. So that's why what I do here is provide it pretty much at no cost. And there may be some things that'll have a small fee or a nominal fee, but never too crazy. But all those things are optional. Here's the thing. If you stick around here and you come along with me on these walks every day, it'll turn your life around. Because they're motivational, they're inspiring, they have stories, they teach lessons based on the stories of my life, of my experiences, right? And they make you feel like you're a part of something. And people want to feel like they're a part of something. One of the things that I learned when I became self-employed and really started to get more into personal development about 15 years ago, in my mid-30s, now I'm exactly 50, is that people want to be a part of something. But what they want to be a part of has to be something that they feel good about. They have to feel safe being a part of that. And in order to feel safe, they have to be able to trust the person or the people that are running these groups. And I take running the GNA very seriously. Despite what anyone may think, right? People that aren't too fond of me, which the real reason is they're not fond of themselves, right? They're projecting. We all know that. But yeah, people that aren't, too fond of me can question my authenticity and trustworthiness all they want. But here's the thing. That's your opinion. Maybe you have a group of 100 people that feel the same way. That's the opinion of you folks. But what about the opinions of hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that haven't come across what I do here yet, or what we do here, right? They're going to come in and make their own opinion, regardless of the other opinions. Most people will base their opinion on how they feel about something, and they're not influenced solely by other people's opinions. They might listen to other people's opinions. See, for me, I will look at other opinions. For me, I will look at reviews on Amazon. I will look at reviews on Yelp. I will look at reviews on stuff, and I will tell you this. 99.9% of the time, when I see a bunch of shitty reviews and I go with my gut about this product that half the people are saying sucks and half are saying it's good, I made the right choice. There's a lot of negativity nowadays. There's a lot of competition, and a lot of people try to kill their competition by writing fake, shitty reviews. And not everybody realizes that the majority of shitty reviews on the internet are fake and coming from your competition. And maybe we need to do more to raise awareness on that. Maybe I'll do a show on that. Don't take everything you see on the internet at face value. You can't. Now, there are a lot of good stuff. No, there's a lot of good stuff. There are a lot of good things about the internet. If you use it in the right way, it's a great tool. But you have to also understand there are a lot of people that misuse it to their benefit. And you have to understand that, or it will affect your experience. All right, we are at 59 minutes. Exactly 1 hour. Wonderful. Hope you all had a great day. I have got to run a couple errands, and I'm going to go home, spend time with my lady and the dogs, and then we got some things to do tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a walk earlier tomorrow from the trail. I haven't gotten to the trail on the other side in a while, but I really want to, so I'm hoping to do that by tomorrow, but we're at exactly 60 minutes, 1 hour. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Tia, for being here, and anyone else that was watching and not commenting, or if you're here on the replay, thank you. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. Good night.